queen, a very important Mirabilia. And Maggie has never talked about me, and everyone wants to hear about me. They want me to be in the spotlight. They want to hear...
Babe, what are you doing?
Be gone, peasant! So, my husband works at home. I'm not sure what he was really surprised about. I'm kind of like this all the time. Hi, I'm Maggie, aka Kitschy Whips, here on Flosstube and on Instagram. Hey. A little bit of the fawns for some reason. This is a channel all about cross stitch, but today is so special because it's time for the Mirabilia video. See, I promised I wouldn't sing and I've already broken that promise. I've literally been getting ready and prepped for this video all day. And the baby did not want to go down for a nap because why would he? I needed a lot of free time today. I told my husband, I said, listen, when the other one gets home from school, maybe you should hop out and like just tell her to keep it down in case I'm still talking. And he says, you've got like an hour and a half. And I said, yeah, and I'm talking about Mirabilia. So I've got kits, stash, whips, finishes. I have a rescue. I've got all sorts of stuff and I got some big news. I'm serious. I can't stop the singing. Okay. Hopefully you guys all saw the teaser video that Fiber Arts, Amy, and I put out. We are having a huge blowout Mirabilia / Nora Corbett stitch retreat next year. It's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called the Queen City Stitch Retreat. We are this close, people, this close to getting it locked down. And once it's locked down, oh, baby. All the info is going to come out and you guys are going to lose your minds. It's going to be so amazing. And now I'm hoping I really haven't built that up too much. Basically, if you are a fan of Mirabilia, Nora Corbett, you need to come to this retreat. Besides the fact that you get to hang out with Amy and I, honestly, that should be enough for anyone. But we're going to sweeten the pot and say that we are going to geek out all weekend over Nora's work and Mirabilia patterns and stitches and whips and finishes. However, you do not have to be a Mirabilia stitcher to come. If you have never finished a Mira, never started a Mira, not sure if a Mira is right for you, come to the retreat and you're going to find out by the end of the weekend because we're going to light it up. I'm not even kidding. I just want to reiterate what Amy said in her last video. It's a fan retreat. And it's for anybody that loves Mira, likes Mirabilia, is interested in Mirabilia, just wants to maybe see some in person. Please come. Please come. Also, while you're at the retreat, you do not have to stitch on a Mirabilia or Nora Corbett. You can. You will be surrounded by them, but you can bring and stitch on whatever you want. Just get down here. That's all you have to do. Because we got some plans. So this video, I'm going to do my best to mix it up a little bit. Where I talk I talk a stash. I'm going to show some stash, show a whip, show a finish. So it's not just, I'm hoping I'm not monotonous. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I need you guys to go to the bathroom now. Because once we get on the road, I'm not pulling over. We are not stopping until we get there. If you don't know, Nora Corbett has always artistically, particularly in terms of her cross stitch pattern, has focused on the feminine. Strong women, wise women, feminine, mystical, magical creatures, that kind of thing, which I think is awesome. When I first saw them, I was like, wow, those are pretty. They're gorgeous, but what am I gonna do with a big damn lady on my wall? Like, I don't know. Cut to this video and I somehow online found Halloween Fairy. And I just fell in love with her. And I was like, oh, what? And I am not a huge seasonal stitcher. I don't look for it. I don't look for Christmas stuff or whatever to stitch. But I was like, I gotta have that. She's a fully finished. I picked her up just this week. I love the frame. It's like this old, you know, scratched up type of look to it. And she's adorable. I love her little short bobby haircut. I love the little beaded moon. Beaded and chronicled. I left off, there were supposed to be these red, like swirly beads coming out. I left them off. And honestly, it's just because at that point I was like, no, I think I'm done. I'm good. I love these spider webs. Oh, Kreinik, is there anything you can't do? I stitched her on 14 count sparkly Charles Craft. That's another thing. Mirabilia's, Nora Corbett's, stitch it on whatever you want. You want to stitch it on Ada, stitch it on Ada. You want to stitch it on linen, stitch it on linen. Joblin, Lugana, even weave, 32 count linen woven by nuns with the hair of angels. I don't care. Just stitch it. Nora is so thoughtful for the stitcher. Thinking about a smaller line of patterns to kind of help people grow into a Mirabilia is so thoughtful. And even in her Mirabilias, she is not heavy on back stitching. She doesn't do specialty stitches. She's not big on fractionals. I mean, there will be some. The biggest thing I think that trips up a lot of people is maybe the beading. The beading, you guys, is way easy. If you can make a cross stitch, all you gotta do is pop a bead on. You can do this. I say go for it. Even if you're not sure if it's your thing, try it anyway. Maggie's tip of the day. The baker's wife. And just, that was all she wrote. And what she wrote was this, and it's amazing. I love what I call the Marie Antoinette aesthetic. The pink and the blues together and purple. Ugh. And she's amazing. And I saw her and I was like, oh snap. No, she's not finished. But what are you gonna do? I don't know, I guess finish it. I am just stitching her on 16 count Ada. Look at how much of the dress I've done. Ugh. It is not translating on camera, which is a shame. This is Witcholt's Touch of Pink. And in person, it's not touching. It's laying all over you. I love it because I wanted the most obnoxious kind of pink fabric for her. By the way, I wanted to show you how I store my Noras. And I don't want to encourage any FOMO, fear of missing out. But I mean, I can't help it because I'm a genius at organizing. This is where I keep all my stash patterns. Don't be jealous. This is where I put all my goodness. It's the whole reason why I had a baby in my 40s. Where I put my whips is in this. It's just one of those drawers. I forget what they're called. You get them at IKEA and they fit in those Kallaxes. If I got the baker's wife, you know who had to come home with her? Nobody. The Duchess of Rouen. Look at her. Okay, so the story. This is a matching set with the baker's wife. The story is, this is still the baker's wife in disguise. Very exciting. I want to know more. That's the other thing about Nora. She has these little like stories and blurbs and stuff with her patterns. It's so cool. My dream is to get those stitched, and I want to get them in an oval frame. Wouldn't that be cool? A story, shall we? Because a lot of you have asked me about Large Marge back here. You remember my last video, I said I was not good at measurements, calculating fabric. That also includes like inches, centimeters, like, I don't know. This is the story. I'm leaning on the top of her right now. That is how tall she is. I was browsing the internet, as one does. And I see this Spring Queen. It had the measurements. I didn't read it. It was so cheap that I just checked out. It got here. And the box that she came in was basically about this tall. And I thought, oh no, I've made a mistake. And my husband comes in and he says, is that going in our house? Yeah. So anyway, here she is. It is Spring Queen, which is an out of print pattern. I have no idea what you can see. I just hope it's something. The person that stitched this very obviously loved her. So I was very surprised with how big she was. And the measurements were in the listing. This is not the seller's fault. And then I realized you could measure to find out like what sizes the fabrics are in terms of counts. That I can do, surprisingly. This queen. Oh, I should have been doing this the whole time. Is stitched on 11 count Aida. When I say that you can stitch a Mirabilia on anything, I mean it. She's gorgeous and massive. And then they put a map. Look at this thing, how big it is. She's incredible. And y'all don't even want to know what I spent. It was less to buy her than it is currently to buy her pattern. I'm very happy and grateful and excited to have her. One day, after my lovely queen came home, I'm on eBay scrounging around and find this. Why, yes, it is the pattern of Spring Queen that is out of print and super expensive. And I paid $12.50 for it because the seller was just trying to clear out some stash and it didn't come with the original envelope. I think I'm okay with no envelope. Speaking of which, I also from the same seller, this is Maidens of the Seasons Part 1. There's a Part 2 that for some reason goes for a lot more than this one, and this one's still expensive on the secondary market. So this is spring and summer, and then the other one is fall, winter. So I'm hoping one day I can get the second one because I would like to stitch them, but I'm kind of thinking I'd like to stitch them together. I've gotten very lucky. I have found some out of print ones that I wasn't even really looking for that just surprised me. I have found out of print patterns that I really wanted. I have been gifted by lovely friends patterns that I was looking for, whether or not they're out of print. I'm very, very lucky. And you can get lucky too if you're patient or if you just have a lot of money and want to spend it. That works too. My two current Mirabilia unicorns are Villa Mirabilia. I really want to stitch that dress, y'all. It's ginormous and will take me forever, and I really want to stitch it. She's beautiful. The second one is, Ashley's Roses. Oh, snap. How do I want a pattern? I don't know the name. I want to stitch her for one reason, and it's the gingham in her dress. I love gingham. I will slap gingham on anything. Gingham and glitter, anything. Gingham and Glitter, new band name, I called it. Oh man, Gingham and Glitter, they do glam rock mixed with country, and not like new country, like old school country, like Dolly Parton country. Dolly Parton is Gingham and Glitter. Now I really have to stitch that. Oh man. So let's look at some fairies. Fairy Idol. I love her big beautiful bed and the chandelier. I love this rabbit statue that I don't quite understand, but I love it. I got her in a lot off eBay, and actually I was looking for Autumn Queen, and I found this lot that had 2 Autumn Queens in it and her and like a couple of other patterns. I think Winter Cream. November Topaz Fairy. She's pretty. This came in like a surprise box. We're gonna try this without the light on for a little while. That's what she said. Shakespeare's Fairies. This is a beautiful one. This also came in my surprise box. Yeah, that surprise box had so many Mirabilia, like Nora Corbett patterns in it, along with some other stuff. And I didn't have any of them. How lucky was that? Like this one, 3 for T. This is Mooka. She's also got a huge, beautiful bed, little candle thingy there, her wings, her hair. I want to stitch her so bad. Midsummer Night's Fairy. She's beautiful. I love Nora's old school fairies. She's done so many like Art Nouveau, Art Deco, classic looking pieces, if that makes any sense. It doesn't look trendy to me. Like fairies may be trendy, but this doesn't look trendy, if that makes sense. It just looks timeless. It looks like old antique illustrations. I don't know. I just think it's super cool. So I've told you about Halloween Fairy, leading to the baker's wife, leading to the Duchess. But I still wasn't sold on full-size Mirabilias. I couldn't tell you why. And I think maybe it's because I saw a lot of mermaids, and I'm not really into mermaids. Or I wasn't, wink. And then I saw what I personally feel is the most beautiful mermaid that Nora Corbett has ever created. Ever. In the history of ever. And it's Renaissance Mermaid. She is perfect and gorgeous. She's got the prettiest face, the prettiest hair. I found her on a D-stash site. Someone had got her and had the Kreinik and the beads and then just decided that they weren't gonna stitch her. And once I saw her, I was like, okay, maybe I get it. I love everything about her. This is 28 count Picture This Plus Tidal. Tidal. I just can't get over how perfect she is on it. Again, I left off some beads. They're supposed to be like these green, sea foam beads, I guess. Little tip, if any of you guys are stitching her, there is a correction on the website for her hair. There should be beads, these big dark beads. There's supposed to be some down here. I didn't bother to go back and fix that. I started this one to celebrate Alexis My Amazing World, her birthday last year. And the best part was we did not know each other then. I totally just invited myself up into her life. That's how I met Alexis. I love her beads. Her tail is crazy. It's stripes. So there's water lilies in here. There's DMC. Okay. So there's stripes of different Kreinik. And these scales are all beads. Look at her face. I love her. Okay. Story time. Let me tell you a tale. I have had exactly 2 interactions on Facebook Marketplace. This was the second one, the one I'm going to talk about first. Did that make sense? I don't know. If you know, you know. This is the baby boat. And if any of you follow Fiber Arts Amy, she was very afraid because she thought this child, this lovely child here, she thought that that was its face and that it was a demon baby. I asked her to shoot those Mirabilia stash videos, and man, I love them. I love Amy. It was serious kismet. After she posted that video, I was randomly looking on the Facebook Marketplace, and a fully stitched baby boat popped up for sale, $35. And I just about lost my mind. Now, I had bought one thing off of the Facebook Marketplace where it was shipped to me, which that's the second story. This one was like a meet in person thing, and I had not done that, and was like, I don't know, I'm kind of cute and small, and I don't really know if I want to go meet a stranger. I messaged the guy and said, I'm gonna need the baby boat, and he didn't respond. It was like days. So I messaged the guy again and I said, if this is still for sale, like I will buy it, like definitely right now. I still didn't hear anything. Well, now you've got Maggi basically telling her she can't have something, so now I gotta have it. Now it's like not even about Amy anymore. I'm going to get that stitched baby boat because he's not responding to me, and I'm going to get it. So I messaged him one more time, and I was like, I'm more than happy to have you ship it to me if that would be easier. Hello. He messaged back and he said, I just got your messages. Here's my number. Call me. Really? Come on. Can't we just email? I'll PayPal you. Like, we really got to talk on the phone. Then I was like, no. Amy's got to have the baby boat. I will get the baby boat. So I'm like, fine, sir. Very nice gentleman. Quite a bit older. He had just moved down here with his wife. His wife had stitched it. And when he brought it to me in a hospital, like, clear bag that they give you to, like, put your personal belongings in, his wife very sweetly sent the pattern with it. So I very quickly yoinked the pattern out because obviously y'all know Firebirds, Amy already got a baby boat. And I sent her the baby boat stitch in the card for Amy because she didn't know it was coming. I just said, can I have your address? And the card I included, all I wrote in it was for the demon baby and all of us. Princess Eliana, you may notice that this is not in an envelope. This was another purchase from someone on a Distash group that had bought her, kitted her up, started her, and then was totally overwhelmed and they didn't want to go any further, which was sad. But look at how they kitted this thing up. I'm not that organized. Now, it is kind of a bummer because, like, when I'm done, like, I don't have the envelope or the picture of her to, like, put in my stash, which is kind of a bummer. But maybe if I ever finish her, this is something I pass on to somebody else. The pattern and the what's left, I don't know. Here's my current progress on Eliana. This is 28 count. It's the current fabric of the month from Fiberlicious. I think, is it April Showers, Spring May Flowers, something like that? I had originally started her on the peaceful purple that it calls for, and it was fine. But I got this fabric the other day and was like, oh snap, you gotta be kidding. I am totally gonna stitch her and just start over. And I hadn't gotten that far. Like, I basically done this part and maybe a little more. That's how far I got on her the first time. Well, it was pretty far, I guess. Well, it's a drop in the bucket with Eliana. I mean, her dress is ginormous, but I'm pretty good. And I do like her on the called for. But like I said in my original video, I like crazy amounts of color. So when I saw this, I was like, oh no, I kind of need to restart her. Sometimes if I'm not in the mood to stitch, I will just pair. I'll flip through my patterns and maybe pair it with a fabric so that it's not really fully kitted, but you know, I've got some fabric with it. This is Royal Holiday. And this is the fabric that I've chosen for her. It's just a unknown green hand dyed that I got in a Distash group, but I really think it would be fun and it would be super Christmassy. Her stitched is truly amazing. Look it up on Instagram. She is stunning stitched. And I think she'll look good on a screen. What do you think? You ever get that where, like, you don't want to stitch, but you still want to do something stitchy? Is it just me? This one is a Nora Corbett. It's Aquarius. It's part of the Zodiac series. Full disclosure, I do not have an Aquarius in my life that I know of. But she's amazing. Gorgeous. Has that Art Deco look. Oh no, that is going up in my bedroom. I just won't put the little Aquarius word on there. She's awesome. I just got the called for because the called for is Country French Cafe Mocha Linen. Fancy. You know how 123 Stitch, I shop there quite a bit. And if you click on a pattern, as long as it's in stock, they'll give you a list of like the called for fabric and all the, and you can add all the beads and water lilies and whatever right into your cart. It is super convenient. The only problem is when you put the stuff in your cart, particularly with Krynic, it will give you this big red, like, you know, freaking Aragorn with the black ships. You may go no further. Take this out of your cart. It's not how Viggo Mortensen talks, but you just have to erase it from your cart. So what I do is I'm like, well, I don't want to forget that I need that Krynic, so I'll put it on my wish list. But then I go on my wish list because when you're checking out, you have to go to your wish list, because what if there's a pattern in there that you can just throw into the cart and then you have something kitted and a new pattern. Patterns can't travel alone. They get scared. So you go on your wish list and you're like, what? Renaissance Mermaids in stock. Maggie told me to stitch that. I'm totally gonna put that in my cart. Blink. And then you put her in your cart. And all of a sudden you're scrolling down and you're like, what? 150V number 4 Krynic braid vintage hammer is finally in stock. I gotta get it. So you get it. Bink. And then your package shows up and guess what happens? What are these for? Anybody else got a bag of mystery Krynics? You're like, well, it's in stock. And I obviously put on my wish list because I desperately need it. And then you get it and you're like, what is it for? Am I the only one? It's like, seriously, it's like I'm freaking popping tags with Macklemore. They had a spool of Krynic. I bought a spool of Krynic. Oh, thrift shop parody called Stitch Shop. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I'll stitch your grandma's whips. I will not finish it. Where do the Krynics go? Here's another fun matching. Beautiful friend of mine gifted me Christmas elegance. And I'm thinking, oh, I need to stitch it. And you know why I'm thinking that? Because the day this came in, soon after, I got the fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabrics. This is called Accidental. And I messaged Corinne and I said, are you kidding me? Oh, it's happening. It is way happening. Who is gonna stitch this with me? Look at that dress, but look at the stars. Oh, they're all beads on this. It's gonna be so beautiful. It's a Christmas miracle. Speaking of Christmas, who likes Santa Claus? Because I've got Santa's magic. Sorry, I'm singing again. This is a bag by the 805 Stitcher. Do you love the 805 Stitcher? I love the 805 Stitcher because she's amazing. That mid-century modern, it's my jam. Like I said, I don't do seasonal, so I only bought this because it's vintage, it's mid-century modern. Love Santa's magic. I mean, not enough to stitch it apparently, but I knew when I got him, I had to have him on Picture This Plus Relic. Had to. What's it called for? Oh, desert sand linen. Nope. Let me tell you, this was complete kismet getting this pattern because he's out of print. I posted in a stash group and said, I'm looking for this. I really want to stitch this for my mom. And someone very sweetly private messaged me and pointed me towards an LNS who very sweetly just let me buy it from them at retail because they had it on the shelf. Miracles do happen. Another Christmas miracle. Let's talk some goddesses like Athena, goddess of wisdom. Burn Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram. Recently finished her. This is Circle of Friends. This would make a great round robin. Picture it. You, 2 other friends, okay? Whoever is in the middle, like, is you. And then you would rotate out. So all 3 would get a chance to stitch each lady so you don't get bored. And then when you get it back, you're in the middle and then your 2 friends are there. It's a circle of friends, Mirabilia style. This is the Forest Goddess. I think she came in that pack where I got like the Autumn Queens and the Raven Queen. I really just bought her because in the Mirabilia conversion group on Facebook, somebody did Maleficent. This is MD142. She has another name. I call her the Bohemian Queen. For some reason, she reminds me of Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. Oh, Stevie Nicks conversion of Bohemian Queen. Like blonde hair. Maybe change these to like, what? Beiges and What? Oh. Somebody needs to get on that. Somebody more talented than me. Get on that. Make her Stevie Nicks. This is Winter Queen. She's still around. You can grab her. Summer Queen has recently gone out of print, but I think you can still get her. I love Autumn Queen the most. She reminds me of being at a Renaissance fair. I also love that Nora, for fall, autumn, used these like jewel tones of purples and blues. You're singing my song. We should be best friends. Is that creepy? That's probably a little creepy. She is fully kitted. I have no reason to not start her. I paired her with a fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabrics again. This is Blackberry Latte. What y'all think? I think it's good. This is Venetian Opulence. Another gorgeous one that I don't see stitched a lot, do you? But she's gorgeous. This came in my mystery box too, and I didn't already have it. What luck. This is Sabrina. She is cool. Of course, I would absolutely do her with black hair. I need her to be Audrey. At the Met. This was one of my early Mirabilias, and I bought it because, again, look at her. Love her hair. She's literally dripping with jewels. I love this little thing you do over her. However, I bought her to stitch the way she's charted, but instead, I decided to do a complete conversion and make her Tiana from The Princess and the Frog. Tiana's my favorite princess. I love The Princess and the Frog, the movie. And one of my favorite parts is the whole fantasy dream sequence she has when she takes her mom to see the busted up, what is it, sugar mill? Something like that for her restaurant. And she sings Almost There, and it's a different animation style. And she's in this like a white dress and has this feather in her hair, and it's gorgeous. And I was super disappointed at the end of the movie because they put her in like this dowdy green, covered head to toe, gloves and all that. I'm like, no, Tiana should be like in the white dress because it's so pretty. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it myself. Oh, first of all, I used, this is called Fall in Love from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And the reason why I chose it is because of the graduation. In the dream sequence, it's a lot of oranges and yellows and all of that. So I really wanted the fabric to kind of go through that. This is as far as I've gotten. It has not been fun. There's a conversion in the Mirabilia conversion group where someone stitched at the Met as an Egyptian. It's amazing. You need to go look it up. But I did change, like instead of using actual white for the base of the dress, I think I'm using 3685 because I was just kind of trying to not be quite so stark. But y'all, that dress is killing me. It is so monotonous and boring. And I hate that because I was super excited about this. What I need to do is just start her skin or another area, come back to the dress. Lady Mirabilia. From the same seller that I got those out of prints from. Again, $12.50. It's got the butterfly charm in it. I was like, $12.50 and you've got the original charm? Yes, please. If you haven't yet, you need to go see Fiber Arts Amy. Her finish of this is beautiful. And again, Lady Mirabilia was not on my radar until I saw it stitched. And I was like, oh, it's gorgeous. This is Bluebeard's Princess, and she's amazing. Nora's use of color slaps my face every time. Speaking of cutie cute mermaids, this is MD 126. Fiber Arts Amy has dubbed her the Trinket Mermaid. I love it. So Trinket Mermaid she shall be. She's the sister image pattern, however you want to say it, pairing with Bluebeard's Princess. I got extremely lucky and have the perfect fabric for her. It is Giocoso from Grace Notes Fabrics. It's amazing. She is gorgeous. And I love her. Showing up so good, y'all. Could you just Look at those colors. And also my awesome needle minder. Rohan. It's so hard to get the color right, but this is probably about as close as I'm gonna get. It reminds me of Kraft mac and cheese. I love this fabric. Again, she's one of those patterns where I was like, well, she's cute, and you know, I do like bright colors, so it's kind of a slam dunk in that respect. But then when I started stitching her and started that tail, her colors are slam dunk returned. You guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Let me tell you a tale. A tale of my very first interaction on Facebook Marketplace. Y'all aren't gonna believe this one. I do a search for Mirabilia and I find this lady a few states away who is selling a box of cross-stitch stash. And it was mostly old stuff. But in the box was some lavender and lace and a couple of Mirabilias. This was quite early in my Mirabilia collecting days. I didn't have a lot of Mirabilias. I think in the listing she had 3 pictured. It was, I didn't even know their names at the time, but it was, I think, a lady and a couple of ladies and a fairy. I just knew I didn't have them. She wanted $30 for the whole box. So I messaged her and I said, so any chance you would be willing to sell me just the mirrors and ship them to me? And she said, well, yeah, you know, that's no problem, but it's going to take me a while because I need to go and look and see how many I have. Well, there's 3 in the picture. Like, do you have more? Back and she said, okay, I looked through my stuff. I have 5. Does $25 shipped for all 5 patterns? Does that sound fair to you? Hell yeah. And this is what I got. Rose Celebration, Fairytales, Ada. I keep wanting to call her Ada. Ada, the Garden Fairy, the Rose of Sharon, and last but not least, Queen of Freaking Freedom. Sometimes you get lucky. This is the Dreamer. I found her on eBay. She's busted, like, well loved, but still readable. The Garden Muses, somebody on Facebook was destashing, and I got this super cheap. Deepest Love, out of print. This is one of the ones that I got with my Autumn Queen. Mermaid of Atlantis, I really want to stitch this. Mermaid Perfume. This is the 3 mermaids. I really want to stitch like the top half of this because I love their faces. Bella Butterfly and Bella Bee. Love these. Le Nouveau sampler. And I really am thinking to do her on this because I cannot get enough turquoise, teal, Tiffany blue, whatever you want to call it. And I think she would look really good on this. This is Golden Girl Apples. Love it because she's a pinup and I love pinups. And I've never seen this stitched. And that is a shame. I'm gonna stitch it. Titania, Queen of the Fairies. My youngest daughter picked this one. There is a stitch along going on Instagram, Jubilee Queen. And Titania is Sal 2022, I think. Lot of lovely, lovely people stitching that all together. You love to see it. I do love a Sal. Lady Cat. And I got her to go with my Imperial Lady D. And she's on a loud fabric. Creamsicle. Biba Stitch Me. That brings me to a finish. Imperial Lady D. I love her. Would you like to see her? Of course you would. I love her. Look, I added a face. I'm okay with the Corbetts not having faces, but I don't know, I was just feeling kind of saucy. So, this pattern. The beading is just amazing. It's one of the most brilliant color schemes I think Nora's done. Look how she picked light pink to the medium pink to the dark. I mean, it's so, so beautiful. And I went into Michael's and was like, I need to have this framed. I don't know what I want. And the girl came back with this frame. And I was like, are you kidding me? That is amazing. This fabric is another 28 count. It's actually the very first fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabric in Symphony. Done perfect. Mermaid of the Pearls, anyone? Out of print. But she's gorgeous. This was one where I saw it, I'm like, man, she's pretty, but I don't really want to stitch it. Don't listen to me when I say stuff like that. You know I want to stitch it. I'm also a little worried. This is hand-dyed 32 count fabric. I don't know if all those beads are going to fit on those. It's Serafina by Seraphim hand-dyed fabrics. This is Garden Party Cakes. It came in a surprise box. And I saw it and was like, that's adorable. Wouldn't that be cute for a wedding? For like a wedding like announcement thing? You could change the colors of the cakes to match the wedding colors. Oh, brilliant. Somebody do it. I bet somebody already has. Let me know. Tell me. I want to see it. This is Federal. It's a chair. But it's a pretty chair. I might stitch this. Have you ever seen any of the chairs stitched? I haven't, but then I haven't looked. If you have a chair pattern, message me, comment down below. We're gonna get us a chair sale started. There's no way this is gonna take long to stitch. Who has chair patterns? Tell me. Comment down below. Let's get it on. 4 calling birds. This is the only 12 days of Christmas pattern that I have. It came in my surprise box, and I'm very grateful because look how cute that is. But I don't have any of the other ones. I mean, I guess I don't need to. I could just stitch it and like not put the 4 calling birds. But the tree, it's cool. That, like the little red berries are all beads. Man, I love beads. I love beads. Austin Powers. I am very old. Pisces. Gorgeous. Check. The blues and the greens. Maggie's bought it. It's Lady Skein. Another one of the orchids. If I end up getting Lady Cat finished, I might go ahead and do her. And Miss Simbi. I can say it's Simbi. And then I'll have 4 orchids. I love her little 20s look. Oh, Nora. Freaking love it. Nudes. Gorgeous. V, letters from Nora. My husband's one of his best friends. His wife had a baby. They gave her a V name. And so I offered to stitch this for them. She's a cutie patootie little fairy. I'm going to change her skin tone to match the gorgeous new baby in our lives. These are the nymphs, and we are doing a sow. Hashtag nymph sow. Who's stitching it? Who's stitching these? Day nymph, night nymph. Again, Art Nouveau, Art Deco, freaking love it. Look at the colors of the wings. I am stitching this on the called for because I really wanted the wing colors to stand out. And I just wanted to start now. I didn't want to wait and try to figure out fabrics. And I wanted them on the same. I'm going to frame them separately, like they're cut apart. But I did kind of want them to match in that way to kind of keep it. But I'm doing a skin conversion on Day. And they're going to be amazing together. Best friends forever. Queen Anne's Lace. Originally a magazine pattern. Look at her saucy little face. I love her attitude. Love it. Look at the beads. And I've got the other half of my gorgeous fabric from Grace Notes Fabrics. And I think she's going to look amazing on it. Just think, guys, if you come to our retreat, you'll get this all weekend long. Aphrodite freaking mermaid. still available. I love her. She is gorgeous. Swirly things, blues and greens, done. Can I just say though, I only just now found out that this is a shell. I thought this was like ruffles in her tail. It's a shell, like she's standing, floating in. It's a shell. I love her. I'm using the called for her. With mermaids, I typically like to tackle the tail first. I'll start in the middle and just work down. I see the value though of working up because tails can kind of get monotonous. This was unicorn number 1 that is now mine. It's Madonna of the Garden. I love that Nora went with these rich, deep colors versus your stereotypical Mary colors, Madonna colors. I love Mary or Madonna iconography. And I really wanted this pattern and I found it it was a steal. And I got very lucky. And I feel very lucky. I want to start her so bad, but I'm not sold on the fabric I've chosen. I was going to do Hidden Treasures by Fiberlicious because one day I really wanted to tap into that deep, rich look, right? Of like the fruit in her skirt. But I don't want to overwhelm her. I don't know. But you know me, if I can have an excuse to find a color, I'm going to find it. Nadine Nazd X-Stitch on Flosstube and Instagram. She's amazing. She stitched all the good stuff. Go to her now. Number 1, she's one of the people doing the nymph style with me. So that's one way you can find her if you don't know of her. She has also stitched Madonna of the Garden, and it is gorgeous. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to talk about my baby. The stitch that I want to be buried with. I could not tell you what it is about Junebug. The greens popped out at me. The shape of her popped out at me. Purples, browns, greens. Whole patch of Kryonic. Oh, baby. She worked up so fast. I love her little hair. I love her sweet face. She's holding a treasure. Oh, boy. I couldn't stop. But you know what made it? The fabric. It's from Grace Notes Fabrics. It's hopefully going to be in the shop at Black Friday. Look at her on this fabric. And then my gal pal at Michael's, look at this. Look at the frame she helped me pick. It's like this bronzy, brownsy, like beautifulness. Now, normally when I get something framed, I tell them bring it in tight. I don't like a lot of static space of just blank fabric hanging around, if I can help it. With her, I purposely said, pull it back. I want the fabric to show. Like, I want to see the fabric because the fabric was so much a part of the joy of this for me. I loved every minute stitching on this fabric. I loved every minute stitching her. If you want, just get the pattern. Get it. She's so easy. She's so fast. And she does not take one water lily and only one pack of beads and one treasure and one Kryonic. This is the Nora to get if you want to try a Nora. Junebug. I love Junebug. And I will tell everybody to get her. She's so cute and she's so fast. She was made to be on this fabric. The fabric was made to be with her. And now they're together forever along with me. Keep an eye out on my Flosstube, my Instagram. Both are at Kitschy Whips. Keep an eye out on Fiber Arts Amy at Fiber Arts Amy for retreat information. As soon as I get that contract signed, it is on. It is so on. You don't have to have mirrors. You don't have to stitch a mirror while you're there, but we'd love to have you. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what your favorite mirror is. Check them out. Give it a try. Oh, that's the other thing. If you've never stitched a mirror and you want to, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to wait, but man, Amy's had the best idea. she wants first-time mirror stitchers to come to this retreat. We'll help you start one right there on the spot. And not just us, I'm sure a lot of people that would be interested in coming would help you get started. If it's confusing, intimidating, scary, do this, okay? If you're like, I can cross stitch, I don't need you, how about this? Stitch your mirror, but if the beads are scary, bring that to the retreat. Bring your beads, bring your stitched piece, and we will be till the cows come home. I'm so excited. I need to find out where all that credit goes. I also need to work on my Stitch Shop lyrics. Bing, bing. Thanks for watching. Thanks. Please feel free, like, subscribe, comment. I know that I owe a ton of people a ton of shout out thank yous. They're coming. Next video, I am gonna let loose the gratitude because you guys have really overwhelmed. You guys have just made my day since I started this channel. All right, I'm done. I gotta go. Okay.